Everybody, selectionpdq.com. Scanners, scan profiles, PowerShell. Excitement. I'm telling you right now. All right, buckle up, strap in, let's get in. Let's get on, let's get going.
All those things.
All those things, that's right.
Every single one of them.
So in talking about scanners, well, let's just talk about scanners. Go into inventory, we have scan profiles. Now these are the standard scan profiles that come when you purchase PDQ Deploy. Now you notice this standard scan profile is the only one that actually has a trigger on it. So let's just kind of run through and just talk about what the scan profile has in it. So this is the standard scan profile, and obviously you can see there is a description and scan as user. So you can do scans as different, local system logged on user, so on and so forth. I would definitely stick with the scan user unless there is a compelling reason not to. Now, these are all scanners that have been included that we built for you. Now, if you do hit add here, you'll notice there's files and directories, a PowerShell scanner, registry scanner, and WMI scanner that are not employed in this. And these are for you. Obviously, you can use all of these, but these are basically for you to use to make custom scanners. With that triggers. Now, the one thing, you've seen this screen before. The one thing that's different about this is the scan age trigger, and I like this. I can schedule a scan to run weekly on Friday, but if a machine's off every Friday, you're never going to get a scan. When you do the scan age, like we have here, if the scan's 7 days or older, it's going to get the scan. So if I turn my machine off for 10 days, I come in on, a Wednesday, I get on the network, notices I'm there, it will scan at that moment. Jordan, anything you want to add to, triggers or scan details at this point?
Not so much for the details, but the default scan, as you saw when you had that up, that's a lot. It's a pretty intensive scan. It still goes pretty quick, but you don't always need all of that data. So if you need less, you might want to create your own scanners or scan profiles that have just a condensed version of what you're looking for.
Yeah, you can do that. The other thing you can do is, let's say you wanted to do a more aggressive standard scan on a handful of machines. You can actually, I probably should have left this open, go point this scanner, duplicate it, build your own, and point it at a collection source. So in my case, I would build a scanner that is very, very processor intense, looking through a registry, and run it on Jordan's machine probably every 15 minutes just to mess with him. But, all right, so beyond messing with people, you can
I'm
eliminate...
not going to notice a scan.
What was that?
It's a light touch. I'm not going to notice at all.
That's probably a good point. Anywho, you can limit the scan. So if you're going to go aggressively scan stuff, you can limit the machines that you're doing that. So if there's a group that does a lot of application installs that you allow to do that, you could actually run applications against them more frequently. Now, speaking of limiting that scan, that standard scan is pretty big. And again, in deploy, it's usually best practice to not hit deploy once when you're talking about scanners, but to go to options and preferences. And under deployments, it comes default with the default scan profile, which is your standard scan profile. In this case, you probably just want to move it over to applications because hardware probably is not going to change unless you've got some magical software installation that installs hardware. Thoughts, Jordan?
Yeah, definitely. Applications is incredibly quick. You do just that, and it's probably the perfect one to add for deployments.
Thank you. Now you can modify these. You'll notice the application scanner, if you go to details, it pulls computer details and hotfixes, not just applications. So you could go add, let's say I wanted to grab some AD information, you could go add that to these. So you can modify these. I'm not, but you can. Let's jump in and do a custom scanner, and actually we'll start out with a file scanner. So let's go look for, for lack of a better thing to look for, all the EXEs in Windows System 32 directory. So we'll call this the System 32 EXEs, right?
Or 23, whatever.
So cless.
My dyslexia kicks in. I'm going to leave it. Fine, it's System 23.
62-bit.
Lex and dyslexia. In this case, I'm going to go add a file and directory scanner. Okay, I'm going to look for files. Okay, you can look for directories. You can look for both. Okay, your wildcards are right up here top. Okay, so in this case, I am going to use a system variable, winder, And then we're going to look in system 23, right? If I say it that way, I'm going to get the right number. And then splat.exe. I could run this against, I guess, the whole entire drive and grab every exe that's out there. A couple of things you're going to run into. One, you're going to grab a lot of data, assuming you've got a lot of exes, or let's say you're looking for temp files or DLLs, right? So the more precise you are about the location you're looking, the faster this is going to run, and you're going to limit the amount of data you get back. Also, with that, right down here, we have a row limit in there so you don't completely just bog down your database by grabbing, random information of sorts like that. Jordan, thoughts before I save this and kick it off?
Yeah, I mean, 2,500 is a lot. If you're running that, your database is going to become bloated. You're going to start probably seeing some performance slowdown. So it's easier to, if you don't want to change your limit, make sure you catch everything. You want to make sure you're getting precise with your patterns to get only what you're looking for.
That is a good point. So precise locations, precise patterns. Now, if you did want to look at with System 32 and beyond, I probably should have showed you this before I closed it. In here, the wildcard for current and all subdirectories is 2 splats. So that's right there, which I think I covered up, but at least I'm using the highlighter, huh, JJ?
Thanks, man.
Okay, I'm going to kick this off. It'll run fairly quick, but let's take a question while this is running.
Dear Lex and Jordan, the one thing that always challenges me is how to know what to use to ensure I'm bringing the data back so that it's usable in a good columnar format. I struggle to get the data coming back clean so it looks aligned and is reportable in PDQ inventory. Thanks, and love you guys. A. Solomon.
Hey, so A. Solomon, you're drinking today too, I see. I'm assuming, I'm going to make this assumption, you're running a PowerShell scanner and you're having formatting issues, say like maybe date formats. I don't know, Jordan, thoughts on this one? Because I would assume this is going into PowerShell stuff.
Yeah, with most scanners, the data it pulls in is what it finds on the device. With the PowerShell scanner, you can modify. If you go to our GitHub, the PowerShell scanners page, there's a lot of pre-built scanners in there. And I think one of them is last logged on user, where it's going through the event log, and it's converting date time in that one. To kind of give you an idea on how you can change that one.
So you can download this and take a look. So
Yeah, there's a whole lot of things, but basically what you want to do is you can build at the end of this the scan PS custom object, and you can specify each bit of data you're looking for, and if you need to do conversions there, you can.
So before you pump out that data in the column or the select format, you alter it there? Because I know dates come back as like a, 10 or 12 digit field, which is how many seconds past my birthday, I guess the date is. I don't know.
If you're pulling it from Active Directory, it's that way, or sometimes just the format could be different than you're expecting. You can change all of that within the PowerShell scanner.
Okay. So looking at PowerShell. So, well, that scanner's done. And where to go find this information now? We'll go pop up Bugs Bunny. We'll go down to Files and Directories. And there are all the EXEs in System 32 on Bugs Bunny. Now, again, because this data is now available, you can query it. And, query it, build dynamic collections, so on and so forth. So I guess I could build one of those, but to be honest, I think I've built 1 million of these for you, so maybe I'll show you with the next scanner we build. Any thoughts, any questions before I move on?
Nah.
No, sorry, my daughter started throwing a bouncy ball. I just need 1 second if you want to just move on to the next part.
Carry on.
Okay, carry on.
Go for it.
Well, I'm going to have a drink.
All right. Same.
Okay, so another scanner that I like is the WMI scanner. We did the files. Registry scanners, very similar to file scanner. Let me just pop that up so you can see it. So again, you're looking for the path. It's the same wildcards. A couple of caveats on this. Jordan was telling me the other day, you can do multiple patterns and look for multiple things in the same hive, right, Jordan? But if you're going to jump hives, you got to build another scanner. Am I saying that correct?
Yeah, so each registry scanner, you can look as much as you want within a single hive, but multiple scanners if you're looking in both users and local machine.
There you go. And again, with these, if you've ever opened regedit and hit find on that, runs forever. So again, further down the path in the hive that you're looking for stuff, that's going to speed that up for you. Let's jump down and do a WMI scanner. All right. I do a lot of these. I can do a profile. I can do a GPO. Jordan, what are you feeling today?
Let's go profile.
Profile. All right. So we're going to call this user profiles, users with a Z. Apparently that's what we're going to call it because I'm not even going to try and fix that. Great thing about WMI is we do have the WMI Explorer, which makes it real easy to find what you're looking for. Now, originally, I went in here and I typed in user profile, okay, and checked the boxes and ran it. And this is kind of like running a find in your registry. It took forever. Just so you know, to save us all time, it is in root CMV2, excuse me. And then from here, I can just do a quick user profile. There it is. Now, once you select that, you're going to see, again, here's the query down at the bottom, right there. Okay. And I always run these for two reasons. One, see how fast it's going to run, because that does matter. That was pretty quick. And then also, is there any data in here that matters to me? So far, a big no. Until I get to local path. Now, again, in the vein of keeping my database, compact and clean, most of this data I don't care about. So I'm just going to alter this right up here and say, give me the local path. And then we'll run it once again to verify that is what I wanted. So again, in this point, you're going to copy the query. You need to remember it comes from SimV2. Paste it in, and surprise, surprise, SimV2 is already there. So here's users. Oh, by the way, that scanner name, it's going to build a table with that. So my poor typing and spelling will be very apparent when we run this. There it is. Probably ought to name the profile, or in the scan profile, yeah, user profiles. Close enough. And again, running this, it should run that fast on all of these. So the only overhead is going to be connecting and then returning data. So do we want to do a question while this one runs?
Sure.
Okay.
Hey Lex, I created a files and directory scan profile. Can I link it to other scan profiles such as standard or applications? Or do I have to duplicate the scanner criteria in each profile I want it in? Thanks, Chad B.
Hey, Chad. Let's go see. So we'll go back to scan profiles. We're going to go add our System 3023 EXEs. Let's see if we can go add that to, let's go edit one of these. Sorry. We'll go to the standard profile. And can I add it? Not like that. But what you can do is this. I believe we can go in here and copy that. And then we can paste, whoops. That is not what I wanted to do. We can go back in here and then we can go and paste that into the standard at this point. Copy, paste. There's my files and directories looking for that. So referencing it, not necessarily in this case, but you can copy and paste. Hopefully that answers that one for you. Not going to save that, but you can do that. So, all right, so that ran. Just for kicks and giggles, let's go take a look in WMI for our users table. There it is. Vincent, here's all the different user profiles that are on the machine. So we can go see how many machines B Allred is logged into. So I'm going to copy this. And again, now I can go in, build a new dynamic collection. We'll go reference that table I misspelled, users, where the local path contains. Paste in Mr. Allred there, and we'll call this the Allred user profile, 55 machines. So I'm assuming someone's been doing a little maintenance, because obviously I haven't. Any thoughts on that, Jordan?
Yeah, with the user profile, it's probably a safe bet, but when you did your WMI scanner, you were looking at your machine, which means it's the WMI built on for your build of Windows.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's something more obscure, it might not be the same. You want to test that on all types of operating systems in your
true.
environment to make sure that the path is the same.
That's some of the WMI in Windows 10 does not exist in Windows 7, so you'll get WMI scanner won't run on those. So thank you. Very good point. Very good point. All right, so I've showed you some really cool stuff. We probably need to get to the truly powerful scanner, which And I know Jordan's just going to jump for joy when I say this, which is the PowerShell scanner.
No, I don't care for PowerShell.
You don't care for PowerShell at all? All right. Well, let's do this. We're going to build a PowerShell to pull additional AD information in. So let me pull this up. Jordan pre-built this because obviously watching me type this out would take forever. So Jordan, you want to talk us through what's going on here?
Yeah, the biggest problem with the using anything in AD is the AD commandlets in PowerShell aren't native into the machine. You have to have the RSAT tools, the remote server administration.
So time out. Did you have to run RSAT install it on all the machines?
I've found a way. So the first thing I tried to do was to get all of the components I needed so I could just include those and import the module. That wasn't working. So instead what I did is I pointed it at the domain controller because that's already going to allow remote management, and it's already going to have the RSAT tools on there.
Okay.
And so basically, yeah, you have to grab the environment computer name,
Okay.
and then when you're running it as a script block, as you can see, I have $using,
Okay.
and that lets you put through the computer name I grabbed, so I can do a search against the local machine.
And in this case, AD computer using name, which is the computer name, right? Properties, department, DNS host name is what we're looking for here.
Yeah. So with the 80 scanner, by default, it doesn't grab all the properties. It grabs, it's like 8 to 10 of them.
Okay.
So you have to specify which properties outside of that you want to look for, and then still select those at the end, or otherwise it's not going to find it.
Okay, so under the attribute editor.
Boy.
Yeah, I'm doing well today, guys. And I haven't even gotten into my drink really at all. These are all the additional attributes you can pull. In this case, we were just pulling department, and I thought, it'd be kind of cool. So I added, DNS host, just to see what that was with everybody. A question, Jordan, and maybe this is more clarification. We're going to run this as a domain admin because that's the scan profile we're running this under. Can I do it with local admin or LDAPs?
So I don't think local would work because the domain controller is not going to have the local accounts. I'm not sure on laps or not. I haven't tried it. I mean,
Okay.
technically that is stored on the object, in the computer object, but I haven't tested that one. So in this one, we are using domain credentials that the inventory would be using.
So in this case, I just kicked that off. We are running it on Guinness. The department is test, and the DNS host name is guinness.web, blah, 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 blah.
And if the department was not set, it still wouldn't even pull up the department like it didn't exist. So even though the attribute does exist, you can see it in there. If it's not set at all, when you do the query, it's not going to pull it up. So just you make sure that you have data in there before you run that one.
Okay, now if you were pulling a date, like last logon date or some type of date from here, in this select statement, you would be doing the formatting. Am I saying that correct?
Yeah, you'd either do the select statement there, or below that is where you do the in brackets PS custom object,
Okay.
and you could define each one there and do the conversion.
I like how Jordan says you can do it, thinking I could do that. Jordan can do it. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this super cool script and copy it. Now, I got to say, Brock has written a blog. Blog has written a Brock about getting AD information imported into custom fields. Jordan, while I'm pasting this, do you want to explain the pros and cons of doing it each of these ways?
So the scanner is going to be easier to run on a schedule. It's less intensive, and it's just something you can set it and forget it. And it's easy. It's there for reports and everything you can use from there. If you're using the custom field, it's a little bit more intensive. You have to run that. As long as you have RSAT on the console machine, you're going to run that there. You're going to create a CSV that has the computer name as well as the information you want and import that back in. But the advantage for that one is it will allow you to make it filterable on the main window in inventory. So if you're looking for something you're running reports on, I'd say the scanner's the better way. If it's something where if you want it front and center on your console, custom field is going to put that up front.
So can I run this, Jordan? Will this actually do that for us?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to kick this off. It should fill in the department on, I guess, Guinness in this case.
Yeah, if we specified Guinness, although I don't think I specified name, that's probably going to run for everybody.
Alrighty then. Well, maybe I just filled them all in. Jordan did pre-build the custom fields. I'm going to save that. That's the scanner. I just copied it over. Called AD Stuff with capital SC Anyway, options, custom fields, department. Okay, so it did work in this case. It filled in test. Is there any other machines that have a department in it we should just take a quick glance at?
The Castillo one, I think.
Castillo, custom fields, super spy. I like it. So in this case, we could go and to the home field here because this is a custom field and add, what was that called?
Department.
Department, thank you. Custom field department. We could go add that, tag it up to the front, and now we can see Castillo's part of Super Spy and Guinness's test. So apparently Jordan spent a lot of time filling in departments.
I really built out the lab environment.
Did you?
Yeah, important part, you have to build the custom field before that.
Before you run that
will
PowerShell.
work. Otherwise, it's going to throw up an error saying you have to have the custom field.
All right. Okay. All right. So benefits, I can see department in this case, any of the custom fields on the default computer screen here. So let's go run our super cool 80 stuff against everybody, and we're going to go pull department and DNS host name if they have them. And so I'm hoping we can look at Stello and I guess Guinness when they finish. Well, maybe we'll look at Babbitt too.
Yeah, all of them should have the
Okay,
DNS
Guinness.
when you put it in there, but only Guinness and Castillo will have the department.
So we definitely go down to the PowerShell. 80 stuff again, guys. If you notice, we got map drives. 80 stuff happens to be alphabetically first. Guinness, test, and then there's our DNS host name. So now I can again go and make. And this is what I love. Find the data and it's usable as soon as you get it, right? So now I can go in and look for my PowerShell 80 stuff table, and there's my columns: department name, DNS host. I can look for anybody that has a name that contains the letter G in it, or T, depending on which I hit. And there's 11 of them that have G's, all the grannies and Bugs Bunny, so on and so forth. So yeah, usable data. Any other thoughts, Jordan, in regards to the PowerShell script?
Well, that was just kind of a quick one for the AD. It's because the scanner is running on the local machine. You can't do enter PS session because that's interactive, but you can do invoke command against any machine that has what you're looking for. It kind of opens up avenues to run commands where you can't get the commands on that machine specifically.
Well, very cool. So that's how you can do that. Again, depending on what you want to do, scheduling it, using it on the default computer screen will depend on how you want to pull that data. Should we hit a speed round? Do we have enough questions for a speed round?
Oh my, we do. Yes.
My.
Yes.
Zillion.
I should have shut up earlier. Is that
No. This is perfect for a speed round.
okay?
All right. Hey, guys, I have a PowerShell scanner that is running as the logged on user to check data in user profile. If no one is logged on when the scanner runs, it appears to wipe out the data from the last scan where a user was logged. Is there a setting I'm missing to not run the scan if no one is logged on? Steve L.
Now I know there's a setting in deploy to run a deployment if a user is not logged on to that. I don't think you can do that with a scanner. Jordan?
You could make a collection that requirement is someone has to be logged on, and then set the scanner to run against that collection.
Okay, you'd also have to kick off the computer info scan to make sure you get it as of that moment, because it's only as good as your last.
Yeah, we don't track. Keep history. So.
You don't keep, and then again, every time that scanner runs, it's going to put in the new data.
Could you do it with PowerShell? PowerShell scanner?
The PowerShell scanner,
Maybe
you'd have to
save something. You could do your own little history in that.
So what you want to do is I want to check if, I want to grab the data. If no user's logged in, put the old data back. Is that what you're saying, JJ?
I don't know.
That sounds...
It sounds
like
tedious, but it sounds like it might solve it. I don't know.
The issue from that one is to save the data, you're basically grabbing that from the console with a SQL query. So you have to be from their machine, run it against the console to grab that data.
Yeah.
That's a good point. We don't know.
There's some trickery in there. I mean, it probably could be done, but there's going to be some trickery. Well, we definitely went over our minute on that one.
Yes, you did. Next question. Is there a way to collect hardware hashes using PDQ? I need to pull them from around 3,000 computers in the district. Sincerely, Jeremy, who spoke in class today, M.
Hardware hashes.
So this one we kind of covered a little bit in the chat earlier. Basically, there is a Windows autopilot info that apparently grabs the hardware hash.
Okay.
So there's a command line you can run. I think it's install-script and then the name get-windows autopilot info. They'll make that available. But I think that's going to export into a CSV, not an inventory. If you want to be an inventory, you'd have to look at how it's grabbing the data and change the data. So instead of exporting it to a CSV, would grab the information that you could put into the PowerShell scanner.
So you kick it off with PowerShell, then read it with PowerShell and put it in a format.
Yeah,
put that?
you have to modify a bit so it stops sending it straight to a CSV.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. What he said. Next.
Hey guys, I would like to run the scanner manually on a computer outside the network and then import the results back into inventory to work with them. Any chance this gets implemented? Thanks, Marcel L.
You know, that you're going to need an agent for. And we're working on an agent, guys. So.
Well, and
Yeah.
with his where he says if he's running it locally there and then brings it back, it wouldn't work for a PowerShell scanner, but you could, if you had custom fields, import it into the machines that way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess you could, huh? Could you? Okay. So could you do this? You deploy a thing to run PowerShell that collects that data and returns it to the server and imports it using deploy.
It's like a roll-up.
Yeah, kind of. What do you think? But they'd have
Yeah, I
to be
think that-
online when it comes on. Yeah, there's some.
It's not the ideal solution, but it could hobble it together.
There is some trickery in there also. The word of the day, trickery.
What I think is that we're
Use it.
coming up on the 60-second mark. So
All right. Next.
Strategery.
Strategic.
Dearest Lex and Jordan, if a computer is offline when the scan age is exceeded, will the scan trigger the next time the computer comes online, similar to Heartbeat? Josh C.
That is exactly how that works. So yes, I made one in under a minute.
That was easy. We're not even keeping score on this one.
Thank goodness. That's next week, right?
That's next week. Hey guys, with the latest release of inventory, I have noticed that my computers still show a need to reboot after I have rebooted. Is this a known issue? Thanks, DeNorth.
Okay, so let's say you rebooted the machine, but you haven't had a scan on that machine since the reboot. The next scan will probably collect that data for you. So again, your data in inventory is only as good as the last scan. So, reboot a machine, kick a scan off, a computer info scan against it. It's pretty small, and see if that comes back. It should. If it doesn't, well, you need a ticket or a support call.
Hey guys, registry scanner. Can you search currently logged on user or will it just search all users? Sincerely, Eric B.
Let's see. Scan profiles. I don't think there is a current user hive in that. Did you
I don't
notice,
think
Jordan?
registry scanner includes the current user, so it means it's only going to look at all of the potential users.
Users. Okay. Yeah.
In that one, you could use a PowerShell to do the registry scan, and then you could specify just the current user hive.
Yeah. That's how you'd have to do that.
what he said.
Yep.
What he said.
Jordan
Thank
gets the points that don't exist.
Jordan gets the point. Time out. I said you couldn't do it, and then he said how you could. Okay,
Yeah.
Jordan gets the point.
He got
Right.
the moral victory.
Moral victory.
Hi, gents. Can you use PowerShell Scanner to find a list of AD users not specific to an actual machine? Again, Eric B.
Can you do it? I mean, if you can
So-
find it in AD and you can run a PowerShell query against it, yeah. I would
But
say you could
it
do
doesn't make sense as a scanner.
Because it's
Just-
not attached to any machine.
It's
right?
just basically you're running a PowerShell script to query AD at that point.
I guess that, yeah, where would you put
Yes,
that data when you
it'd
put it
be-
back in inventory?
You might as well just run that as a script.
Yeah.
Maybe
Get
have a
dash AD users and then specify, I guess, the OU you're looking at, or if you want to grab all of it.
Could you do a
That'll
dummy
get-
machine and run it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
That sounds like a script and a CSV to me. But
Probably.
Hey guys, is there a way to scan a client in inventory that comes online before a heartbeat schedule kicks off in deploy? For example, if an application auto-updated off my network and now does not need an update pushed via deploy. Thanks, guys. Love the webcasts. Chris
S. Now, this is how I do that, okay? Kick it off before, not necessarily, but let's say we were going to schedule Chrome. It's on a heartbeat schedule. I would just go in and add a pre-step to kick off the inventory scan you want. And then from there, you can also, I guess if you wanted to put conditions on the steps afterwards to not run it, you would probably need to make this a non-updatable so that you can do step one. Only do this if it exists in a, because properties here, it gets past these properties to run step one, and then step one inside the steps. I guess you could actually, you can add another step in here, like a dir, and only run, I don't know, Jordan, help me out here. I know we can do it. I'm just trying to think how.
So if it's scanning, that means the collections are going to update.
Okay.
So you could put in step one, basically, it has to be a member or not a member of this collection, depending on what it is. Like, basically not a member of, we'll say, a Chrome latest. That way, after the scan, it will scan the applications. And then if they move into Chrome latest, you don't need to do the install at that point.
Okay. I'm just
So it'd be
figuring,
a condition,
okay,
right? Can you do the install step? Can you do conditions?
on this install step?
Yeah, I can't control the mouse to.
No,
so
I can't do.
You can't
These are
change
because it's a
Yeah, I can't point to collection.
an automatic. What is it? Auto download. You can't. So that's why I say put another step in here, and then kill it on the second step if the first step. If it makes it into this collection, then just kill it. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, just a pre-step that looks for that.
Mhm.
Okay.
So step one, run the scanner. Step two, look if it's in, and then if it is in Chrome latest, then kill the deployment at that point.
Yeah, you could even
There's some PowerShell trickery. I know we can do it.
Yeah, you can specify a certain error code that will
Uh-huh.
make it easy to find out this one didn't run because it's already updated.
Yeah.
You guys
Honestly,
are-
I bet you 30 seconds after this webcast, Jordan will go, oh, that's how you do it.
That's usually how it works.
You guys are really gonna have to make up time with this speed round thing on that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Like
So
we just
you're
did 5 on that.
so
All right.
you're saying there's a chance.
There is a chance you can do it, and that'd be step one, step two, and a pre-step, okay?
All
I haven't
right.
figured out how step two works.
Hey guys, what is the best way to have PDQ apply a deploy package automatically to an OU and AD? I have set up a schedule with scanners directed at the default computer's OU and a target of only Windows 10 devices. With just the heartbeat, it continually applies the schedule until I manually move devices from OU. Brian, why?
Brian, you could add a package or a post step after that package. It's a PowerShell step to move it to a new OU. Is that an easy enough way to do it? What do you think? Thoughts, Jordan?
I mean, it depends. So if you're running the deploy against the other machine to move to another OU, you'd have to have the AD tools to be able to run against it.
Okay.
But if it's something where after it installs within that one, I guess we could do the same thing we did with the scanner and say invoke command against the domain controller to move it.
That's what I would do. This is what I was thinking we'd do.
All right, speed round for real, guys.
All right. Ask easier yes/no questions.
Okay, these are
I
yes,
have
no.
a lot of questions coming up. So.
All right. What else we got?
All right, hey guys, is it possible to install Windows 10 Service Pack updates that require the user to click download/install to push PowerShell or something else for
If you're doing Windows 10 service packs, we're talking like cumulative updates. I mean, is that
So
what
we're
we're
not
talking
doing
about?
a silent, or does he want to give them an option to say not right now?
So I wouldn't. I mean, if you, I'd use deploy, and if it's cumulative updates, I just use the package and push that. If you wanted to let the user say yes or no, there's a webcast called Intelligent. Building Smart Packages, and we have some PowerShell in there on asking questions and deferring. So
Yeah, so in that one, it is PowerShell that pops up a window with them saying, hey, we want to install this, and it gives them a countdown of like 4 or 5 times they can delay it.
All right.
We're getting closer to a minute.
We are. Here we go.
Yeah.
What is the suggested/preferred method for managing computers on a VPN or external cellular network? Again, from Brian. Why?
So, Brian, I would say probably the biggest thing is on your scheduled deployments and stuff. For managing those, you are going to want to make sure you have that heartbeat set. Again, you're probably going to need to make sure your VPN's refreshing DNS and all the things to make the VPN work. But I would definitely hit it with a heartbeat so that when they do come onto VPN, it'll start, deploying that way. That being said, if their wireless sucks and their internet connectivity sucks, you're going to have issues that are outside your control.
Nice.
Did I do it? A minute?
Yeah, close enough. Hey guys, not related to scripts, but is there an excellent free SQL-like query analyzer that you would recommend for people who want to do custom advanced reports? If I promise to use it on machines that I'm using PowerShell, then it does relate to today's topic. A. Solomon.
We had one loaded on here before we blew this away. What was it called? SQLite? SQ.
Yeah, I don't think it's on there now.
No, we blew it away. I just Googled SQLite and found one that I liked. So there's a bunch of them, little query analyzers. Maybe that Stephanie's watching, possibly pop that up because she does most of SQL around here. But don't have a good one for you, though.
All right, here's one you can get in 30 seconds, I'm sure. Not a question, but a comment. Thank you for the 19.3.30 nerd builds you did. An amazing job on the optimization. Inventory is working very nice now. Thank you, Marcel L.
Better make it 15 seconds.
I'm going to talk on this one. I'm going to take 59 seconds, but thank you, Marcel. And, good job, dev team. You guys rock. Did I do it?
You did. Hey guys, are there any plans to add support for Nix-based systems using SSH or other tools? Eric B.
Now, here's the thing. If you do a network discovery and you get the Linux machines in, you can build a tool under Tools, Custom Tools, that you can actually call PuTTY and feed it the computer name. I don't think we've got one of those as of yet in here, but you can build one. I've done it. It works famously well. But yeah, you'd install SSH on the console and then call the PuTTY exe with the computer name, and that's how you can get to it.
Hey guys, I know it takes a long time for new builds to come out, but did your team have any initial luck in the view processes function not working? Jeff P.
I don't know. Kelly, Jordan, anybody?
I'm not in with what the developers are, like where they're at with it, so I can't give a good answer for that one.
We may be able to follow up on that one.
Yeah, that's
I
definitely
don't
a
know.
follow-up.
And possibly our final question today, how long does it take a collection to update after the scan is run? Josh C.
I know this. Usually it's, I will say it's fairly quick. I do know if you click on one, it updates as you're opening it. I do know if you initiate a scan from deploy, it does bump to, it prioritizes that. Jordan, any additional thoughts that you know about that I haven't brought up in regards to collections updating?
I'm not way off base on this, I think, but I think the information on the back end updates before you can see it visually within the collection, but the collections update pretty quick after the scan. It doesn't take more than a few seconds.
Yeah. Now, granted, also the size of your database might have an effect on that, but yeah. Well, guys, hey, scan profiles, WMI, little files and directories, and some PowerShell. Hopefully you learned something. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Lex from PDQ.com.
Thanks for joining our webcast today. If you have additional questions, feel free to reach out to our support forums. We appreciate you watching, and we'll see you back here next week.